You stare at the terminal. 3 months ago, you didn't know what a tensor was. Now you're debugging a transformer model at 2 a.m., and somehow it feels like home. The path from zero to AI engineer isn't a straight line. It's a ladder. And every rung changes who you are. This is your life as every level of AI engineer. You land the internship. Your desk is next to the coffee machine. Your mentor hands you a Jupyter notebook and says, "Try not to break anything." You spend the first week figuring out which Python version they use. You write your first pull request. It's 3 lines that fix a typo in the docs. Your team merges it. You feel invincible. Your code gets reviewed by a senior engineer who leaves 47 comments on 3 lines. You learn more from those comments than from any class. You're not building models yet. You're learning how to not break production. The salary? It's coffee money. But you're here. You're inside. That's what matters. You made it past the internship. Now you're a junior engineer. You can train a model without crashing the GPU cluster most of the time. Your day starts at 9 a.m. with stand-up, where you say, "I'm still working on that data pipeline," for the 3rd week straight. You're writing more code than you ever have. Most of it gets thrown away. You discover that 80% of machine learning is data cleaning, and the other 20% is debugging data cleaning. You learn to love pandas. You learn to hate pandas. Your first model actually converges. You show your mentor. He says, "Good, now make it not overfit." You spend the next week learning about regularization. Salary is real now. You can pay rent. You can even order takeout without checking your balance. But imposter syndrome hits hard. Everyone else seems to know what they're doing. You don't know that they're all faking it too. 3 years in, you can build an end-to-end ML pipeline in your sleep. You've broken production twice. You've fixed production twice. That makes you experienced. You're now the person interns ask for help. You actually know the answers. You ship your first model to production. Real users interact with it. Every day, you check the metrics. Every day, you panic a little. You start mentoring a junior engineer and realize how much you've actually learned. Your salary lets you think about a down payment. You have opinions about PyTorch versus TensorFlow. You are firmly on one side. You start contributing to open source. A documentation fix here, a small feature there. It feels good. You attend your first conference. Someone asks what you do. You say, "I'm an AI engineer." It still feels unreal. 7 years deep. You don't write as much code anymore. You write design documents. You lead architecture decisions. You've seen enough failures to know what works and what's just hype. Your pull requests have fewer comments, not because you're perfect, but because people trust your judgment. You can look at a system and predict where it will break in 6 months. You're usually right. You lead a team now. Your day is meetings interrupted by coding. You've developed a reputation. When people say, "We need senior eyes on this," they mean you. Your salary has doubled since junior year. You own a home. You have a retirement account. You contribute meaningfully to open source, not docs, but core components. Your name appears in release notes. Junior engineers have read your blog posts. When you speak at conferences, people actually attend your talk. This is where the path diverges. Staff engineer isn't just a promotion. It's a different job. You don't have a manager telling you what to work on. You find the problems yourself. You look across the entire organization and see the cracks before they break. You design systems that serve millions of users. Your decisions affect hundreds of other engineers. One wrong architecture choice could cost the company millions. One right one could save it. You write less than 100 lines of code a month. But those 100 lines define how the entire ML platform works. You mentor the seniors who mentor the juniors. You set technical direction for the whole AI org. People schedule meetings around your calendar, not the other way around. Your compensation is life-changing, but the responsibility keeps you up at night. You've seen what happens when systems fail at scale. You carry that weight. You are one of perhaps 50 people in the world who understand the full stack of how AI systems work at planetary scale. You influence industry standards. When you publish a blog post, it gets translated into 6 languages. You're on the advisory board of an AI safety organization. You've testified to Congress, not about AI in general, but about specific technical details that policymakers needed to understand. You no longer write code in the traditional sense. You write specifications that become code. You write papers that become frameworks. You write guidance that becomes policy. Your compensation package would shock your intern self. You travel constantly, first class. You speak at every major conference, but only accept half the invitations. The other half you send your team members to, because building the next generation matters more than your personal brand. You no longer feel imposter syndrome, but you feel something else. The weight of knowing that the systems you design shape how millions of people interact with technology every single day. There are maybe 10 distinguished AI engineers in your company. In the world, a few hundred. You are an industry icon. Your name appears in the acknowledgements section of textbooks. You hold patents that form the foundation of how modern AI systems work. You don't manage people. You manage ideas. You pick the problems that the entire field will work on in 5 years. And you're usually right. You spend your time reading papers, writing strategic memos, and having one-on-ones with CEOs who want to understand what AI will mean for their industry in the next decade. Your code from 10 years ago is still running in production somewhere. You don't remember writing it. Your compensation is in a range that most people don't believe exists, but you work harder now than you did as an intern. Because the problems are harder. When you make a mistake, it doesn't crash a server. It reshapes how an entire industry approaches a problem. You don't sleep well, but you sleep knowing you've moved the needle. This is the apex. You are one of a handful of people in human history who can truly say they shaped the trajectory of artificial intelligence. Your work is cited in papers you haven't read, in languages you don't speak. You have a Wikipedia page. You have an ERDOS number, a H-index that stretches into 3 digits, and more awards than shelf space. You don't remember the last time you wrote a for loop. You think in systems. You think in decades. You are invited to closed-door briefings at levels of government you can't discuss. The interns who fix your slide decks will go on to become CTOs, and you don't care about the credit anymore. What you care about is whether the next generation will inherit technology that empowers or enslaves. So you write, and you speak, and you mentor, and you build. Not for the money, you have enough. Not for the fame, you have too much. But because this is what you were put here to do. And somewhere, a kid in a dorm room just ran their first neural network, and they have no idea what's coming. So that's the ladder. From intern, debugging a typo, to chief scientist, shaping the future of intelligence itself. Every level asks something different from you. At the bottom, it asks for perseverance. In the middle, it asks for judgment. At the top, it asks for wisdom. The question isn't where you start, it's whether you're willing to climb. And the next level is always harder than the last. But that's what makes it worth it. Your life as every level of AI engineer starts right now. With one line of code, with one decision, with one step up the ladder. The only question is, are you ready to take it?